This video contains some harsh language and a bit of gore. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everybody, my name is Mr. K. Sardonicus. Welcome to my Vault of Horror. Thank you to everybody who is returning to this channel. I know that we have a couple new faces, and I hope that to see some new ones real soon. To those who are here today, welcome back. And to those who are just arriving, welcome. And I hope you enjoy your stay. Today, we're going to be doing another 5 fantastic horror comic books. So, without further ado, let's get into this intro right now. Now, before we begin, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what your favorite horror comic books are, and if they are not on these lists, I will put them on there in a part 3, a part 4. This is a part 2, and I did a recent video on it like a couple weeks ago. Be sure to check out that video as well. This is going to be one that contains more like horror movie comic book selections on this list, so don't be surprised that you won't recognize at least one of the horror franchises in this video that has a comic book. You may not have even known that they had comic books, but you know the movies I'm going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's get to number 5. Now at number 5, we're going to start with one that is super fucking obvious, but I didn't put on my last video. This is the Crossed franchise. Not just Crossed, but the entire deal that they've been doing over the years. They've had multiple different spin-off series based on that same universe, and you will see around the screen here all of the different ones. There's Family Values, 3D, a few other ones as well, and it is absolutely fucking insane what these comic books have been able to fucking accomplish. I'm telling you, these comic books are gruesome, and they're almost like zombie comic books, but they're not. You know, they're infected, and this virus causes people to have a cross-shaped rash on their face, and they go and they start killing, raping, and all kinds of horrible shit. It is insane. It is insane what they are able to pull off. And I definitely recommend, like, if you want pure, unadulterated violence and gore and bleakness, the Cross franchise is where you gotta go, and that's where it's my number 5. At number 4, we have our first mention of a horror movie franchise, and this is from Boom Comics. This is their Hellraiser franchise. They have spin-offs based on their main comic book series, and it's like a sequel to the first two Hellraiser movies. And what they were able to do, and the storylines they were able to do, and expand on the lore and the universe of Clive Barker's amazing work. And Christie becomes Pinhead in this comic book series. And it's incredible how they pull it off. And I don't want to spoil anything really, because it's just a comic book series you need to see for yourself. And just like Crossed, I'm going to be showing multiple covers of issues around the screen here. So you'll be able to see what they look like and you'll get the gist of it. But you got to at least own these comic books because they're so good. And they're actually quite affordable if you want to get a single volume with multiple issues. I got to give it, my number 4 because it was just a huge, member berry for me. And I love this comic book series because I grew up reading it when I was a teenager. So it has a huge effect on me, and that's why it's at my number 4. At number 3, we have another Clive Barker gem. This is Clive Barker's Nightbreed. This was turned into a comic book back, I believe, in the late 80s, early 90s. And this comic book absolutely blew me away. You see so many different monsters that weren't in the Nightbreed movie. And I believe Clive Barker wrote some of the stories as well. This is an incredible expansion on the Nightbreed mythos. With tons of body horror, tons of supernatural monsters. And, Dr. Decker comes back and he is fucking awesome in this comic book series. I definitely think that you should just track at least a few issues down. They really aren't that hard to find on eBay, but they can be a little bit pricey at times. But I definitely recommend Clive Barker's Nightbreed, and that's why it's at my number 3. At number 2 is it's not anything to do with a horror movie, but a director of famous horror icons like Michael Myers, Kurt Russell in The Thing. You know where I'm coming from. This is John Carpenter's Tales for a Halloween Night. This is a comic book series that's been going on for almost a decade. And it is absolutely phenomenal. The fact that John Carpenter has his name on this comic book series, and he's a part of it, makes it just so fun. Imagine Tales from the Crypt or Creepshow, but directly aimed towards just loving Halloween and an environment having to do with Halloween. It is insane what he was able to do with these stories, and the artwork is absolutely incredible. I can't believe how good it is. And the thing is that there's multiple volumes, and they're easy to find on Amazon and eBay. I definitely recommend getting multiple volumes. That's the glory of horror anthology comic books. You don't need every single issue to get, the story of what's going on in a horror anthology comic book. You can pick it up at any time and have a new story right on your lap. That's what Tales for a Halloween Night does. And John Carpenter is awesome. I wish he'd come back into films. But if this is the best we can get, I'm actually okay with it. And that's why it's at my number 2. 1, we have the final horror movie comic book entry in this list. And this is from Now Comics. And the thing is that there have been multiple comic book publishers that have done comic books based on this movie. And that is Fright Night. Now Comics Fright Night in general is my personal favorite of all the Fright Night comic book series that there is. It expands the lore of the first 2 movies and just goes all ham with it. It is so good, so satisfying. The return of Jerry Dandridge, all these other vampires and supernatural threats that Charlie Brewster and Peter Vincent have to face together in these comic books. I'm telling you, it's a fucking blast. And I really want to try and get these comic books back because I had them when I was a teenager and I loved them. I need them. And I can actually get them at an affordable price on eBay. I promise you. You need to find these comic books. Track them down because they are so damn good. Like, I don't even count the Fright Night remake or the Fright Night Part 2 remake that came out in the 2010s. Just read the comic books after watching Part 1 and Part 2 of Fright Night from the 80s. You'll do yourself a favor and you'll be better for it. I promise you. And that is it. What would you like for Part 3? Have you seen Part 1? If you have, tell me what you think of it. Check out that video. Then you can come by to this video anytime you wish. Seriously, there are so many great horror comic books out there. I could do Part 3, a Part 4, a Part 5, a Part 6. And I might just fucking do that. So, you guys stay tuned for that. Because this is going to be an amazing time. And don't forget that this October, I'm going to be doing my first all October long event of Mr. K. Sardonicus's Monster Fest. It's going to be all month long. All kinds of different horror stuff is going to be happening on all platforms, including here on YouTube. Won't be every day that I do a YouTube video, but it will be at least twice a week. I'll do a little short video, and I'll do a long video every week. You know what I'm talking about, and you'll see all kinds of awesome stuff. We might have some giveaways going on, so stay tuned for that. And I'm going to have some merch coming out pretty soon and getting a website going so you guys can see it. So stay tuned for that, and until next time, guys, stay golden.